So for those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube page and Facebook page that I put out a lot of pitching information, a lot of pitching grips videos and things like that that usually get a lot of views. And I get a lot of questions about what are some baseball pitches that are safe for kids. I get this question all the time because I think a lot of youngsters are watching the videos, and it's a great question because, you know, we only got one arm, we only have one pitching arm, and we don't want to hurt it. So what I got for you today is 3 baseball pitches for kids that are going to be safe on your arm, or at least safer than most other pitches, because there's an inherited risk, an assumed risk when you're pitching, because our bodies are not really made to be throwing baseball 90, 100 miles an hour 100 times a game. So there is an assumed risk. Just like anything in life, you have to understand what you're getting into. So if you're a pitcher, you have that assumed risk. Now, one thing I do want to mention though is that your mechanics are huge when it comes to these pitches, because if your mechanics are off a little bit, then you're going to be putting more stress in places that you don't need to. You don't want to have that elbow hurting, the shoulder hurting when you're doing your mechanics wrong. So the first fundamental of this, before we get into the 3 pitches for the kids, is going to be make sure your mechanics are on point. Make sure the fundamentals are good before we get into this. Now, the 3 pitches that we're going to talk about, all of these pitches are pronating pitches. What I mean by pronating is pitches that when we throw, our wrist turns this way after we throw them, or as we throw them, okay? This is called deceleration. This is what happens in pitches when we try to slow our arm down, right? We try to speed our arm up the whole time in our delivery, and then after release point, we have to slow it down somehow. And the pitches that we turn in and pronate on, we decelerate really good on, so it keeps our arms safe. Other pitches where we get around the ball, we don't have as much deceleration. That's why they may be a little bit more risky than the other ones. So these 3 pitches that we're going to talk about right now, all are pronating pitches, pitches that we decelerate on when we throw. The first one is going to be the 2-seam, okay? 2-seam fastball. Everyone knows the 4-seam fastball or just fastball. This is the 2-seam fastball. The way we grip the 2-seam fastball is we put our pointer finger, if you're a righty, pointer finger on this lace right here, middle finger right here, thumb underneath the pointer finger on this side of the ball, okay? When we throw this pitch, all we're trying to do is get inside of it just a little bit, and this is that pronation that I was talking about, okay? So if this is my release point, I want to be tilted just a little bit. So think of it as wrist angle, right? If this is my release point on a 4-seam fastball straight behind it, on the 2-seam, I just want to be tilted, boop, just a tiny bit, a little bit of wrist angle at release point, okay? And that begins my pronation. That begins my deceleration as I finish that pitch and follow through, okay? Great, safe pitch for kids. The second one is the sinker. Same exact grip, okay? Same exact grip. The only thing different is we're trying to get more depth on that pitch, downward angle, as opposed to on a 2-seam, which is moving more arm side, okay? So same exact grip. It's actually the same pitch. The sinker is just a little bit easier for guys to throw who are like a 3/4 or a sidearm or lower arm angle guy. So guys who are up a little bit higher are going to want to throw a 2-seam, or it's going to be easier for you to throw a 2-seam. Guys who are 3/4 or a little bit lower, you might want to throw a sinker, because to be honest, a sinker, in my opinion, is better than the 2-seam, because sinkers move more downward, 2-seams move more this way. And if you think about a hitter swinging the bat, when he's swinging, he's on one plane, and if your pitch is moving on that plane, he can still make contact whether his timing is off or not. But if the ball is moving downward and he's on a plane, that ball is going to miss his bat. So in my opinion, the sinker is a little bit better than the 2-seam for that reason. The third pitch we're going to talk about is the circle changeup, okay? Circle changeup is another great one, and the changeup is great to add to these pitches because in pitching, we want to disrupt the batter's timing and balance. How do we disrupt the batter's timing? We throw fastballs and we throw slow balls, right? If he's only geared up for fastballs, he's got a better chance of timing that ball up. But if we're mixing in fast and slow pitches, 2-seams and changeups, and they look the same coming out, now we can disrupt his timing. How do we mess up his balance? We throw in, we throw out. We throw up, we throw down. We mess up a batter's timing and his balance, and we are successful pitchers if we do that, okay? So the circle changeup, we're gonna grip it here. Now, here's a tip. If you throw a 4-seam fastball, you wanna throw a 4-seam circle changeup. Since we talked about the 2-seam fastball, we're going to throw a 2-seam circle changeup. So instead of the pointer finger here, we're going to put the middle finger right here. This is going to be our circle with the pointer finger down to the thumb. I like to hook this finger on that lace, and then the pinky finger is down below that. Now, all we're trying to do on this pitch, again, we talked about pronation. When we get to release point, we really want to pronate this one out in front. I like to think about taking this pointer finger or the circle and throwing it to the ground as we release it. So the ball kind of wants to come off of these two fingers this way and have that spin. It should move arm side and downward just a little bit. Again, we need a fast pitch and a slow pitch, two seam, possibly sinker, and that changeup, and it's a great combination of pitches to get batters out, disrupt their timing, disrupt their balance, and these are three of the safer pitches for young players. So if you're looking for pitches, baseball pitches for youth players, this is a great place to start. If you guys don't know, I was a professional player myself. I threw a sinker, a slider, and a forkball. My sinker was the #1 sinker in the Padres organization, as well as my slider was #1 in the Padres organization. I also have an advanced sinker and slider training course that you might want to check out if you're interested in that sinker. Now again, the slider is a pitch that we kind of get around, so we don't have as much deceleration. We do decelerate on that pitch, but it's later. So I wouldn't include this as one of the safer pitches, but again, it's a great pitch and something to have in your back pocket as you get a little bit older and more developed as a pitcher. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, I'll leave a little link that's going to pop up right here. So definitely go check that out. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm putting up a bunch of videos. I've got over 700 now. And if you're interested in getting better at pitching, I've got great tons of videos that are coming out. And if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to be notified. You got to hit that bell too, so you're notified when they come out. And this way you don't miss anything and you can stay ahead of the competition and get your pitching game on point, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Leave me a comment below right now and let me know what pitches you throw and what pitches you're trying to throw and what your best pitch. Put them in order. What's your best pitch, second best pitch, third best pitch? Leave them below in the comments. I'm going to talk to you guys down there. Let's talk.